What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the Octagon Kitchen. And today we're going to be baking in the Octagon Kitchen. We are going to be making banana bread. I'm going to be using a recipe today that uses brown sugar only instead of white sugar for reasons that I will explain later on. Normally for banana bread you use overripe bananas, but we kind of didn't have any, and then I had to run to the store this morning and this is all that we had. If you're like me and you're impatient and you want to make banana bread now, you can bake them in the oven just on a sheet pan in your preheated oven at 350 for like 7 to 10 minutes, and then they'll be brown. And while these are baking in the oven, I'm going to prepare my loaf pan. I just have a regular 9 by 5 inch loaf pan, and I'm going to use coconut oil to kind of like brush along on the inside of the pan. And then I have parchment paper that I've already cut that I'm just going to line on the bottom so I have some overhang to poop it out after when it's done. Botanically, bananas are berries because they have the seeds on the inside. So when they ripen, they become sweeter and softer, and the sugar and the starch molecules change. So overripe bananas are better for banana bread because they have the sweetness that we're looking for with baking. Just put that in the bottom, and then I'll cut a little bit. So I just took the bananas out of the oven. They have been baking for about 7 minutes. This is what they look like. They just kind of like turn brown naturally in the oven. They're a little hot. So while they cool off, chop some nuts for like a topping. I have walnuts and pecans, however you say it. I don't have like a set specific amount that I use just because I only put them on top. So just like half a handful of each. And you will use more than you think, so always chop up just a little bit more than you think that you need. This video is sponsored by CT Board of Chefs, who made this really nice cutting board. Chris got this amazing cutting board last week, and I've kind of been stealing that a little bit from him this week because I really like it. So I recently started learning like how to cook for myself because I was terrible at it before, and I've learned how important, like genuinely, the tools that you use while cooking, or how important the tools that you use while cooking are, especially a cutting board. I'm the kind of person that needs everything a little spaced out, so I like how big it is, and it's also got these like silicone or plastic pegs on the bottom that stop it from moving, which is great if you're like me and I'm super clumsy. I drop everything and I always make messes. So I really like to have that. And no matter how much we use it, I don't know if you can like see in here, but there really isn't any like marks in it, any imperfections in the wood, which is nice because we have sharp knives. So now that our bananas have browned in the oven, they pretty much like feel and look like overripe bananas exactly, except for the little part on the bottom. But I'm just going to put them in a bowl and mash them with a potato masher. It doesn't smell the best when you do it this way. It smells like... All my daycare friends will understand. It smells like the mashed banana baby food. It's exactly what it smells like, and it's brutal. It's getting me like war flashbacks. Oh, you smell that peel? Smells like banana baby vomit. And now it's time to actually start making our banana bread. So I'm just gonna mash the bananas that came out of the oven with a potato masher. Now I'm gonna start my dry ingredients. I have 1 3/4 cup flour. Had to think about that. Put that into like a medium mixing bowl. And I have 1 tablespoon of baking soda. But the recipe is different if you use white sugar, just because you need a different amount of the leavening agents, but I will leave the recipe for white sugar down below too. And I have half of a teaspoon of sea salt. Most baking recipes call for kosher salt just because of the granulization of it. It cooks a little bit better or bakes a little bit better, but I recently found out that sea salt is a lot better for flavor because the kosher salt has all the impurities taken out, whereas sea salt doesn't, so it has more flavor. And will ultimately taste better. So just gonna whisk those together. And now we can start our wet ingredients. Let me grab a butter knife. I have this awesome hand mixer that my grandmother got me, where it has like a little bucket underneath that everything just kind of snaps into. So I'm going to be using these attachments. I don't know what they're called. They're called something, but I don't know. Wet ingredients. I have 1 stick or 1/2 cup of room temperature butter. Tell that it's room temperature by sticking your finger in it, and it'll make an indent, but it won't like smudge out everywhere like it's when it is a little bit melted. I have the brown sugar that I'm going to cream into the butter, and then I have eggs. I'm just gonna say all the wet ingredient stuff now to get it out of the way because I'm gonna be using the hand mixer the entire time. So you cream your butter for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then you're gonna put in your sugar and then cream it for about 3 to 4 minutes. After that, you're gonna add your eggs in 1 at a time, and then mix that for about another minute, and then add your bananas in. Once that has been all mixed together, then I'm gonna add in the flour, and then mix it until it is almost combined. And then we will come back to add a little bit more into it.
Calm down before you stress up the groove. The energy a little different when the blessings accrue. Hey, who you talking to? Just know I ain't no regular fool. Could be anything in the world, but I can never be you because I stand tall like I'm on my tiptoes, baby. You think a little too small. I got big goals, baby. Hey, where the money at? Look, I just need the info. Pronto, I go and get it and split it with my kinfolk daily, and I'm the type of that might change my number on you. Yeah, that's how you react when people took a slumber on you. Pretty brown skin, baby, I can see the summer on you. You see all the bread, and I know it make you wonder, don't you, don't you, don't you? Ooh, I ain't surprised at all. Seen them rise and fall. Went up the mountain, it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top, I found some relief. I finally got some peace. Carry on, but please don't mess up the mood. Yeah, I worked too hard for it. No, I need it, beat it, before you mess up the mood. Yeah, ooh, I worked too hard for it, and I need it, so please don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Yeah, I worked too hard for it. Yeah, don't mess up the mood. Oh, it's so crucial, I gotta keep it. It's in the air, it's everywhere. No, it's not a secret, and I bet they didn't think that I'd ever get it. Everything you've done, I did it. The life you're dreaming, I live it, and I'm coming in high. You better get out the kitchen. Yeah, I could make a hit on whatever you pitching. Baby, let me fill up whatever you missing. Or you like it up at the top, it's a better view, isn't it? I'm not surprised at all, no way. Hey, what you need, come on, just pay the fee, I supply it all. Went up the mountain and it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top I found some relief, you see, so please don't mess up the mood. Yeah,
So I'm gonna add one last thing to the dry ingredients before we mix them both together, truthfully because I forgot earlier. But I'm gonna add a half of a teaspoon, of ground nutmeg, and you can add whatever spice you like. You can add cinnamon, allspice, apple pie spice, coriander. I've seen a lot of different things with this. I'm just gonna be adding nutmeg today. But when the sugar molecules in the bananas change and make them sweeter, it's actually the same aromatic and flavor, I guess, molecule that releases in cloves. So most clovey kind of spices will go great in banana bread. If you're using fresh cloves, remember to toast them first. And it's also always best to freshly grate your nutmeg because it does make a big difference, but we're lazy around here. And truthfully, I forgot it at the store earlier, so it's okay if there's a little bit extra actually. And that's also why I'm using the brown sugar today, is because I think that it gives it a richer flavor, and it just all complements each other very well, having all the dark ingredients. And I'm actually also using these espresso chocolate chips that I found because I think that it just adds something to that like flavor that they release, I guess. Add a teaspoon of vanilla, plus a little bit extra because, you know, who doesn't love vanilla? I'm just gonna whisk this by hand because I'm just gonna mix it until it's almost combined, and then I'm gonna add in my chocolate chips so that way it doesn't become over mixed, and then it becomes like kind of like more dense and dry. Oh. Now for the chocolate chips. The recipe calls for about a cup of chocolate chips, but I noticed that it bakes weird when it does that. And it also just is like way too much chocolate. It's overpowering. So I'm just gonna do like 1/3 cup. Also, shout out to these little cute measuring cups that I have. Little chicken. I'm just gonna put the rest of them in here because there isn't that many, truthfully. That's good. Right. And now this is almost combined, not quite combined, because now we're gonna fold in the chocolate chips and it'll mix the rest of the way. Right, so now that we have our prepared loaf pan and our dough, I'm going to pour that in here. Hopefully the parchment paper stays up straight for me. No? Thank you. And now we get to make it look really pretty. So I'm going to sprinkle the nuts that I've chopped up on top, and then I'm going to put a little bit of brown sugar. The banana bread will get hot enough to where it'll start to melt the sugar but not totally dissolve it. So it leaves like a nice caramelization of the brown sugar on top. That's why I also chop the nuts up like really fine so that it's all kind of one part, like it's kind of like one like crusted topping. So I'm adding little pieces of banana to the top because I really like the flavor of like chunky bananas inside of the banana bread. But I saw this video about banana bread where somebody cut up like a half of a banana and put it on top. But I found that when there's so much like surface area covered from the banana bread that it doesn't really bake entirely well. So I'm just gonna do like little slices of banana, pretty thin, about that thin, so that it doesn't really affect the cooking that much. now that we have our banana bread all ready to go into the oven, I'm not gonna move it too much. This is gonna bake at 350 for about an hour. It depends on your oven and also like what altitude you're at. We're kind of high up here, so I find that the banana bread, it takes a little bit longer to cook. I normally keep it in there for about like 45 to 50 minutes, but in this oven, I noticed that it takes like about 60 to 67 minutes. So just gonna leave it in there for about an hour and then we'll check on it. So the banana bread has been baking for about 50 minutes and I checked on it and it's good. It passed the toothpick test. Do it again. Clean except for a little chocolate chip at the bottom. So in about 2-ish minutes, I'm gonna take this out of the loaf pan. You wanna let it cool in here for about 10 minutes and then let it cool completely for about a half an hour to 40 minutes. Our banana bread has been cooling for a little over an hour. Camera died, so we had to wait for that to recharge.
Camera died. Had to wait for it to recharge.
Yeah.
Banana bread at work.
It like literally stopped as I was cutting into it. You can see the line where the knife is starting to go in.
Alright, now cut it right in the middle,
Yeah.
dead center. Let's do this. Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
That healthy centerpiece. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna get the camera. We need close up. Oh yeah. Amazing.
Cheers.
It's still warm.
I really love the espresso chocolate chips.
It gives like a little bit of bitterness.
Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Catch you on another episode of the Octagon Kitchen.
There you go.
Bye.